welcome to another episode of Diary of a Wannabe Comedian with me, Belle, a wannabe comedian. It's an absolute scorcher today, hence the aircon is back on. So I went to the cinema last week. I've only seen one movie since we last spoke, and that was Thelma. It was quite a nice little movie, quite a nice little watch, but it does have a joke about hunchbacks in it. So I've decided I've started a log, I'm keeping a note of this, but actually I'm just going to call it out every time I see it. Thelma is a 93-year-old lady, and her grandson was asking her why she doesn't see her friends. So she went through the various reasons, and one of them was she has a hunchback now, so I can't go to lunch with her, which I thought was pretty mean, actually. Quite a mean-spirited joke, that one, but there you are. Other than that, I did Glitter and Titter, and I have to say that was it. In fact, actually, this podcast is a game of two halves, because this was Larissa's annual accessible show, so it's diverse and inclusive, and all the acts either have a disability or they have family members with a disability. So of course I got on stage and I'd written a special little bit about having scoliosis, and that's the first time I think I'm ever going to get a whoop and a cheer just for saying that. It was amazing. And you just think, why is life not like that? Why do we not celebrate people who have not always had it easy? I'm not going to be a victim here. My name's not Harry or Meghan, but life has been tricky in the past. I've had quite a lot to overcome, and I've also gone through a lot. And just in that very brief moment in my many years on this planet, it was the first time that I felt people got me. So that, I just settled in, and it was one of the best gigs I've ever done. And part of that is because Larissa had employed a BSL interpreter, British Sign Language interpreter, and I just decided that I was going to riff off her while she was on the stage. So she was in drag as well, so it was in a very sparkly dress. It was just fabulous, and I didn't even need to do much because just some of my set lends itself to hilarity, just seeing somebody trying to sign it. So it was really, really good from that point of view. And also I have a friend who is profoundly deaf, and I was able to communicate with him. I can't communicate that well because I don't know BSL, but I'm determined after last night to learn it. It has been on my bucket list for many, many years, and I did teach myself the alphabet many, many years ago, but I need to learn it. But I was able to communicate with David, who is a performer himself, so he does stand-up comedy without speaking, and he mimes everything, and he's hilarious. But he really liked my seagull joke, which is a new joke. It's a brand new joke, and it went down really well. I think that's the third time that I've told it, and I feel like it's bedding into my set nicely now. So, and the fact that it translates to somebody who can't hear, I think is brilliant. So, there you are. That was a negative and a positive around people with scoliosis. The only other thing of note is that I now have a new record to go after. A new trophy, something to win, achieve, that's the word I'm looking for. The Guinness World Record holder for being the oldest working comedian is a New Yorker called Dylan Forrest, and she is 89. So I think that's amazing. Fancy still doing comedy at 89. It gives me hope because I came to comedy very late, so that really cheered me up. It was unfortunate that the article that I was reading was about a random attack that she underwent in New York. She was standing at a crosswalk and somebody just punched her in the face. So what a world are we living in? It's just, why do people think they can do that? Why would you do that? It's just bizarre. So that was not so good, but I was really pleased to see that she's still doing stand-up. Much love and gratitude.